Hi, guys. Welcome to our daily encounter. Revelation chapter 17 is a very important chapter for interpreters of the book of Revelation. It seems to be the key chapter for unlocking many of the other imagery and pictures that are given, symbols that are given in the rest of the book. And so, anyone who wants to interpret the book of Revelation and try to pin down exactly what is being spoken about would go to chapter 17 oftentimes to try to figure out what the rest of the book is referring to. And the preterists would go to chapter 17 and perhaps see the Jewish nation as Babylon the Great that's being described, as the Jewish people were persecuting the Christians uh, pretty intensely previous to AD 70. And they would see the destruction of Jerusalem being predicted here with the fall of Babylon, and therefore bringing a lot of relief to persecuted Christians who were being persecuted by Jewish people. The historists would see probably chapter 17 more as talking about Rome, and they do see it as talking about Rome. Whether they're talking about the literal Rome in history that was present at this time, or some type of renewal of Rome, the ideology of Rome, and things like that, that will one day be, or that has been revived, perhaps through the Roman Catholic Church and things like that. And they would see chapter 17 as talking about either Rome or those connected to Rome who might persecute the church and the victory that would happen subsequently. The futurists would see more of a world alliance that would take place, that may even be taking place today, but that will one day develop into what's being spoken about here, and would bring perhaps persecution against God's people, and would one day be overtaken and bring about the end times. And so there's a lot of views in connection to chapter 17, and it is a very key chapter in trying to interpret the book of Revelation, as mentioned. But what we want to focus on is not so much who Babylon the Great is, who these kings are, what these different descriptions of Babylon are all about, but to focus on the victory of the Lamb in this particular situation. In verse 14 of Revelation 17, it says, "These will wage war against the Lamb, and the Lamb will overcome them, because he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and those who are with him are the called and chosen and faithful." There we have the victory of the Lamb, which is an encouragement to all generations and to all Christians who are having a rough go at being a Christian. Of course, Revelation was written directly to the seven churches. That was the original audience, the seven churches of Asia who were undergoing persecution. They had false teachers within, they had persecutors without. They were dealing with a lot of friction with the world and with other people who were rising up against them. And they needed to be encouraged that, hey, one day Jesus will have the victory, that he will have the final say, that they are on the winning team, to hold fast and to overcome, to use the language of the book of Revelation, to become the overcomers who will hold fast to Christ, will cling to Christ, even through the trials, the difficulties, the persecutions, the false teachings that arise, and everything that goes on, to hold fast to him, that one day he will have the victory. And one of the good things about the book of Revelation, in how oftentimes it's very difficult to interpret, is that no matter what it's speaking about, we can all find encouragement. Every generation, generation after generation, can read the book of Revelation and find comfort in knowing that ultimately Jesus, the Lamb, will overcome, and we will share in the victory that he brings about. And so whether this is talking about the Jewish nation or the Roman Empire, or the ideology of the Roman Empire that is carried on, or if we think about it as some future alliance of nations or something like that, whatever it might be talking about, we can find comfort in knowing that no matter what comes in opposition against the church, that she will overcome. No matter whether it's someone or some people group in the first century, the second century, the fourth century, or carrying down to some future century, Christ will always have the victory. And no matter what generation this is specifically speaking to, all generations can revel in the fact that we are on the winning team, that Christ is the victory. And that if we cling close to him, and if we become the overcomers spoken about in Revelation, in that we hold fast to the truth about Christ, we hold fast to the truths that we have come to learn about Christ, if we keep our eyes fixed on him, loving him, being devoted to him, keeping our faith in him, that we will share in the victory, in the glory, in the eternal life that he has prepared for us. And so the book of Revelation should encourage us, whether we're thinking globally with all the problems and difficulties facing different nations and the wars taking place, or we think about it individually in our own particular situations, our day-to-day struggles and trials that we go through. However we look at it, we can be encouraged that though things look bleak, though things might look dark and threatening, we have the light of Christ to bring us through. We can focus our eyes on the light of heaven and know that glorious things are coming, and that he will bring us into wonderful, beautiful, lovely things, so much so that our minds can't even comprehend or fathom how wonderful those things will be. And the victory that we share with Christ will last through eternity. And the trials that we have are only short-lived, but the struggle is short-lived, but the victory is forever. And so we can take comfort in that and have peace in our minds and our hearts because of that. So let's be encouraged by Revelation chapter 17. Yes, let's try to figure out what it's talking about. Yes, we want to try to interpret as accurately as we can, but never forgetting the overall principle here, the overall truth, that Christ is the victor, and we get to share in his victory as we cling fast to him. So here's some things we can think about and reflect on as we do our reading today. With that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. Hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.